What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NBA High Five video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section and enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for joining me as always for the NBA High Five. As you guys know, we're gonna kind of look at the slate real quick, talk about the core guys to get you started on the slate. NBA, more than any other sport, is something you need to keep an eye on as the day goes on, because making those adjustments as injuries and all that other information comes out is pivotal. So let's get straight into the slate. Not going to keep up too much of your time. Going to get in and out of this one. So, starting off first, I got to lock in some John Morant. John Morant's going to be without Desmond Bane. So, there's a couple people that I want here in this situation. I want John Morant and Dylan Brooks. John Morant and Dylan Brooks are two guys that I am focused on right now. John Morant and both him and John Morant and Dylan Brooks will get a bump with Desmond Bane being off. Desmond Bane's been a big part of this offense this season. He's had high usage, all that good stuff. You take him off the floor. The one game that we have so far this year where you took him off the floor, Dylan Brooks had like a 30% usage rate. So the usage rate skyrockets for Dylan Brooks. The usage rate stays around the same, but it's definitely going to go up slightly for John Morant. Plain and simple, this is one of the highest totals on the slate. The spread is close. So I love getting some Memphis guys because they're the side of this game where they're dealing with an injury bump situation. So John Morant and Dylan Brooks are two of my key guys from Memphis that I definitely want. Um, let's talk about another guard before I get to the bigs. Jordan Clarkson's another guy that I'm interested in. This is another game that I really love. The Knicks and the Utah game is another game that I have a ton of interest in. Now, we're not dealing with any like serious injuries or anything like that going on here in this game in general, but it's just the price points on some of these guys for the usage rates and the amount of field goals they take, and what is the highest total on the slate and close spread is definitely something you want to get involved in. Jordan Clarkson is the highest usage player on Utah, takes the most shots on Utah, and plain and simple is just always in the best position to have a ton of success going against the Knicks. Jalen Brunson's allowing some of the most field goals attempted against him per game, so this is just a solid spot. Brunson and Barrett and these guys, they're not playing very good defense this season, so Jordan Clarkson should have, as a guard, should have a solid go at this one. I really like Jordan Clarkson mainly also because of the game environment. The point total that we're expecting in this game, both defenses haven't been very good. And then Jordan Clarkson having all that usage and taking all those shots for Utah definitely has some upside in this one. Next up, I got a couple bigs to talk about. First one I want to talk about is going to be Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, this is part of that Utah Knicks game, and like I said, I want exposure to that game. Hartenstein is going to be the starting center. At least that's what I'm expecting as of right now. You have Mitchell Robinson out, so there is an injury bump that Hartenstein is getting here. On top of that, Kelly Olynyk has been struggling at center for Utah. He's been giving up a ton. He's been really, really, really getting destroyed down low. He's been allowing the most field goals attempted against him. He's been allowing the most field goals made against him. He's just defensively a liability right now. So I'm taking advantage of that. I love Hartenstein. He gets me exposure on the other side of this game at 5-3 and the best matchup defense-wise that they have here. So Hartenstein could drop an easy 30 in this one. I like Hartenstein a lot. Speaking of matchup, another one that is just absolutely beautiful is Claxton. Nicholas Claxton's only 5'9". He gets you involved in that Brooklyn-Sacramento game, which, again, is a good game. Like, this is a 5-game slate, but we have a bunch of good games here. The Spurs-Portland game could get out of hand. Portland's defense is solid. Spurs are on a back-to-back. The Clippers-Dallas game is like, I don't really know. I mean, Dallas plays incredibly slow, has really one of the top defenses. Clippers just played last night as well, I believe. So it's just, I'm really focused in on Brooklyn, Sacramento, Memphis, New Orleans, and New York, Utah is where I really want my pieces from. Unless a bunch of injury news comes out in these two games, then we could take advantage of. Obviously, you have to do that. But those are my three games I'm really focused on. So back to Claxton. One of the best matchups you can ask for against bigs this year has been against Sabonis. Same thing with Kelly Olynyk. allowing the most field goals against him, allowing the most field goals made against him per game. He is the guy that teams have been picking on down low. Sabonis defensively has been struggling. And Claxton is a guy that can take full advantage of that. He's had big upside games this year. He's had a solid season overall this year. If you round him up to 6K, I feel good about 36 to 40 here. I'm not going to lie to you. I would not be surprised to see a really solid game in this one out of Nicholas Claxton. So I really like his price as well. You're getting a guy in the best matchup you can ask for in a game that is a solid game environment. Okay, so let's go back over the high five so far. I mean, well, period. Ja Morant. No Desmond Bain is going to add a lot of shots to Ja Morant. He's feels pretty good for 50 at least. That's 5x 10-1. Dylan Brooks is the guy that I really have some interest in here with Desmond Bain out. Like I said, in the game that Desmond Bain missed this season so far, Dylan Brooks had over a 30% usage rate, took a ton of shots, was a solid play that day. And at the end of the day, Dylan Brooks at only 6K. I feel pretty good for around the 36 mark. Like, I'm still adjusting projections. That will adjust. I love Dylan Brooks at 6K. Isaiah Hartenstein. And one of the closest, highest total games, if I believe it is the highest, closest total game on the slate. Isaiah Hartenstein gets you exposure to that game at only 5.3 in what is the best individual matchup on the floor. Jordan Clarkson on the other side of that game. Just the highest usage player, takes the most shots in what should be a close competitive game. Nicholas Claxton for Brooklyn has the best matchup you can ask for on the floor here in this one. Claxton has had a solid season, and I feel pretty safe for him to hit that value. So when it comes to spend ups, Ja Morant's my number one with Desmond Bain out. I really, really like Ja Morant tonight. Out when it comes to like value range-ish guys, Hartenstein, Claxton, kind of the mid-ranges, lowish ranges. And then you've got some really good mid-range, low mid-range options on this slate. Brooks, Hartenstein, Clarkson, Claxton, all in that low 6K, low 5K, high 5K, like low numbers. So that once we get this core in, we still have almost 5,500 remaining per position. So one really solid value pops up, and then you're really able to get some solid balance in this one. So I'm excited for this slate, man. I got a good grasp on it so far early in the day. I'm going to continue looking at it, looking at a whole bunch of different factors, trying to look at things that other people might not be looking at to give us that edge. GreenlightDFS.com to join the squad. Let's get it tonight, baby. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and let's go. Peace. Have a good day.